welcome back to part 4 of this series for the lipless crankbait if you've been following the tutorials. And if you have not seen the previous videos, what we did was design this in 3D modeling software before 3D printing, assembling, and painting. And now what we're going to do here for this video is quickly clear coat it. And I know I left off in the last video saying we were going to experiment with another clear coat DevCon 2-ton, but we're kind of running out of time for this part 4 and I just want to get it finished, so we're just going to go with a UV clear coat. Use some hemostats here. We'll just clip onto the bottom eyelet, and I'm going to use a flat brush here, just like a small flat brush, and begin going around the lure and try to just do even strokes. And we'll just speed this up. And as you get the lure coated, you want to make your brush strokes a little bit longer. And then with the heat gun, we'll give it a quick flash just to take out some air bubbles. And I just kind of have a UV lamp here set up going into a Tupperware container. And I kind of just flash my first layer here with the lamp. Just try to get it to where it's kind of tacky still. And then we'll brush on another layer of clear coat. And what I didn't show was a third layer of clear coat that I added, because this stuff goes on pretty thin. So I went ahead and just added one more layer. And we'll see how it turns out and compares with the other lures that I built. And I have all my lures laid out here so you can see the evolution of this lure. And this was the first design that I tried out. And the sound and action was actually pretty good with this lure, but at high speeds or even like a medium retrieve speed, it would just blow out and it wasn't stable. And so I came up with this design here, and I just wanted a fundamental shape here. I wasn't trying to do anything fancy, and I just wanted to see if this lure would swim straight and have a good action and make some sound. And what I liked about this design was no matter how fast you reeled it in, it would come in straight. And I could just cover a lot of water with this lure. And I caught some really nice fish with it too. But I just didn't have the sound that I wanted. It was really subtle. And so I came up with this for my third design. And so far this design has just been phenomenal. I've been catching fish with it, my friends have been catching fish with it, and it's just a really fun build for me. I don't do a lot of lures with a single piece. I usually do a through wire design, but these have pretty small hooks on them, so they'll bend out before you'll have any issues with the eyelets popping out. And speaking of hooks, you'll see here that I have a size 2 VMC, which I use for musky, and then a size 4 VMC that I use for bass. And I like using the round bend hooks for these. For a split ring, we're just going to go ahead and use a 30 or 40 pound. It works fine. If you go heavy, it doesn't really affect the action, but you don't want to restrict the hooks from swinging. So we're just going to fit our hooks on our lure here. And then I'm just going to quickly put the size 2 hooks on this orange one, and we'll just hold them up. And I think these look great. Let's take them out to the lake and get some footage of the action, and hopefully we'll catch some fish. I thought we would start off with the one we just did in the tutorial, which is going to be this guy. I normally use a leader with my lure, but I might try it without after I do a couple casts. But when I do use a leader, I use a real light, I think this is like 100-pound, maybe 125 strand wire. It's like a 130-pound swivel, and that's just a thin, probably 75-pound snap. The smaller snaps fit better with these eyelets. Well, since it's drifting me out this way, I guess I'll cast over here. And we got a pretty steady retrieve on this one. Ooh, just hit a snag and he bounced off of it. You can even hear it if you listen. I see a big bluegill down there. He was interested. But I didn't make this lure for bluegill. Okay, gonna test it now without a leader. Oh, didn't. And without the leader, it runs about the same as with the leader. Don't really notice any difference. It's probably because I have such a light leader on. But it seems to retrieve about the same. Just a nice steady action. You can cover a lot of water with these lures because you retrieve them kind of faster than others. So if you're fishing like a big old flat or something, or a river, you can really cover areas really fast. Or faster, I should say. Alright, let's get some underwater footage now. And from an underwater view, you can see it's got a great action to it. And if you're familiar with lipless crankbaits or rattle traps, you've seen this type of action before. And what I like about this lure is that slight side to side, because it can quickly give off a flash, especially if you maybe foil your baits or put a decal that's reflective on the side, or even use like a pearlized color. It can be attractive to predators. And I'm going to jump back to my first version and just show you what that action looked like. And it appears that it works great, but the truth is, once you kind of speed up this lure, it blows out and just kind of spins around. And my second version, I was able to achieve a lure that came in straight, very straight, but it just didn't have a good sound to it, not like the first version. And then my third version kind of combined version 1 and version 2. I had the sound that I liked from version 1, and then I had the straight retrieve, great action from version 2. And because I was talking over the underwater footage, I'm going to play them back so you can hear the sound. Still hear the rattles. We got a little bass. It's the first fish on this one. Got him with 2 hooks, just a little guy. But hey, that was only, I don't know, a few casts. Little guy. There's another one. The size of this bass. This lure is about the same size as him. Look at this. This thing wouldn't come off. There's a little bigger bass there. A little bigger. Starting to get a little chunky. About half the size. A little shallower than I was expecting. Still fish back here. These little bass are everywhere. It's kind of cool looking though. There's a turtle over there. Kind of in a weird spot right here. But let's see what I can do. See, I was putting it over those logs. Or branches. Another one. 2 in a row that time. Oh, shut up, buddy. You're going crazy. Oh, crazy. That's how you get a hook in the eye. You got lucky though. Another little one. They're everywhere. Okay, well, caught a few little bass on this lake on the new build, which I'm pretty happy about. And I think it's time for me to show you guys some clips from the past couple of years on some other bodies of water where I've had some success with this lure. Musky right in front of me. He ate something else. He didn't eat my lure. Definitely was getting at something. Got one. We're on. Musky on. Stay on, buddy. Time to get the net out. See if I can get him on this side. See if I can get him on this side over here. I can turn him around. He's in. I can't tell if I got him still in there. What is this? What? They won't even let me see it.
musky. God, he does not want me to see him though. It's a good one. Big old muskie is what that is. That's gonna be tricky. Sweet. Thought I snagged him. That's why I was being so easy on him. It's a big fish. Just get over here. Oh, she does not want to go in the net. Big it. Another muskie over there. This thing has been fighting me for a while. Can't get him. I really got him in the net. That was a good battle, man. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do to get a picture on this guy, but whew. Look at that fish.
This fish taped around 47 inches, which in my area, and especially on public waters, is a prize. And it would be easy to assume this is where the story ends, like it couldn't get any better than this. But it does. My good friend Dave, who is pretty much the reason why I pursue muskie today, had an opportunity to see this fish hit the same lure 2 years later, and it was about 100 yards from this spot. If you visit our Instagram accounts, we have a post on January 25th, 2023 with images comparing both fish. And to close out the lipless crankbait tutorials, I'd like to conclude with some final thoughts on this build. In the video for part 3, there were some talking points that I should have demonstrated, mainly around getting a sharp edge around this lip, the circuit bill lip. And if you take a look at these two, you can tell there's a sharp edge that kind of cuts straight down from where the tip of the circuit bill lip is. And it's kind of that way all the way around. And I did that with the Dremel. I just made sure I refined it. And as you see here, it doesn't cut straight down from that lip. It kind of bubbles out a little bit, and it does affect the action, believe it or not. So it's just something to keep in mind, and I'm really making these notes for myself too because I tend to forget. And then I even went back on the second lure that I was going to paint, which I never ended up doing, and refined it. Basically just went around with the Dremel to ensure the edges were sharp around the circuit bill lip. So that little bit of shaping goes a long way with improving the action on this lure. But otherwise it does swim straight and it'll work Just always refer to my lure builds page on the specifications or requirements for the latest information that I find as I progress with these builds. And I think that's a wrap on the lipless crankbait tutorials. I may plan to do some modifications to this design in the future, like adding a chatterbait blade to the lure, or a Lexan lip, or maybe even just enlarging it for 1 ounce, 2 ounce applications. And it doesn't just stop with this design. I have been building lures and testing them for many years, and most of them have caught some impressive fish. And don't be surprised if I show some fly fishing content as well. I hope everyone enjoyed this video and are looking forward to my future content. Thank you and take care.